We're starting today a series of lectures on one of the very important books that we have in Kabbalah. I think it's the first time that someone publishing this book in this way. This book is it's called Rishot Malachim. This is the book that we published. The Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, which was the highest, one of the highest Mekubalim that Am Israel ever had. He wrote this book. This book is mixed with one of the mainly heritage of the Kabbalah. The mainly thing, the big subject that we miss with is the subjects of the angels. And I wrote on the book the word Mavola Kabbalah. Mavola Kabbalah, the meaning, this is the first gate to the Kabbalah.
Introduction. Introduction.
This is the introduction. And truthfully, I think it's not an introduction only for the Kabbalah, to the Kabbalah. It's also introduction to the Bible, to understanding the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Hashem, He is behaving this world, is umanhig et ha'olam.
Leads the world.
He leads the world. So there is a lot of meaning of understanding the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu leading the world, and sometimes He lead it through the angel. And that's why we need to understand the meaning and the place and the right things, how we should understanding the meaning of the angel. Every prayer we mention the angels. Everything that we do, it's connected to the angels. That's why Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, that I'm gonna speak on him first. He make a very, very important book. This book it's just like he take you step by step and explain each thing on the angels. That's why he have 49 volumes, 49 paragraph.
Chapters.
Every chapters, he make a hakira of one thing. He make a research of one thing, one subject that he want to speak about the angels, and he want to explain us the meaning of the angels, the way of the angels. I'm just going to read you that you will taste the meaning and the important ma'ala, the important things of this book. Just gonna read what it wrote only on the kricha.
On the cover.
On the cover. Okay. So it's just like this. It says there is 49 drishot v'chakirot, research of the issue of the angels, the way that we use the angels, the numbers of the angels, the meaning of the angels, the existence of the angels, the way that we are connected to the angels, המעלה שלהם, איך אומרים מעלה?
Their advantage.
Their adventures, the way that they working, the way that we are רוכבים עליהם, that we are can, איך אומרים לרכב? To the way that we can drive on the angels, and the way that the angel, that we can use the angels, and the way that the angels gonna work for us. This is one of the way that we look of the angels. We're not allowed to walk the angels because it's avodah zarah. but we must know the way that they working and how to make them work for us. And there is a lot of meaning. This just, I wrote it from the cover of the book, that you understand how this subject is so long, so deep, and we have a lot of details. And Bezrat Hashem, we're going to start, and surely Bezrat Hashem, we're going to finish the book Bezrat Hashem. After we're going to do a series of lectures to understanding each paragraph. And Bezrat Hashem, I'm going to send the books, Bezrat Hashem, to Florida, but you can buy it also in a Jewish place that selling the book. So, a matter of fact, I want to speak about the Mehaber, about the writing of this book, which
author.
Was
the author.
The author that wrote this book. His name was Rabbi Moshe Caro-Deviro. Matter of fact, Rabbi Moshe Caro-Deviro came to Tzfat. When we get out to the Galut, when we get
exile.
Out,
exile.
When we get out to the exile, when Am Yisrael get out from the Holy Land, from Eretz Yisrael, from Eretz HaKodesh, you get out to the Galut. We know that Am Yisrael lose a lot from his power, from the way that he can manage himself, and not just his power from his body, also his spiritual power. That's why the Zohar said that not just Am Yisrael make the exile, the exile, also the Torah had an exile, and also the soul of the Torah, which is the meaning of soul of the Torah. The soul of the Torah is Torah Kabbalah. It's called the soul of the Torah, the spiritual side of the life, which if we understand it, that the spiritual side of the life is the Torah, so the spiritual side of the spiritual side, the root is the Torah Kabbalah. Also, Sodot Torah, they are get out from the Holy Land. And the meaning that when we were in Holy Land, we were together. Everybody was
united,
united in one place. When we get out, each shevet of Am Yisrael go to other place. The Rav Hida says you should know the Ashkenazim was one shevet, the Italian was one shevet, the Moroccan was one shevet. Everyone has his minhagim. That's why we go to other places. And also there is secrets. That's why we cannot close us. You cannot say to yourself, I'm Ashkenazi, I'm Sfaradi, I learn only the Kabbalah of the Rashash, I learn only the Kabbalah of the Ramak, I learn in only Hasidut. Now we're getting close to the Geulah. That's why we all must be connected and we must learn everything. It's so beautiful. You can see someone that learn Hasidut, he's Sfaradi. You can see someone that is learn Kabbalah of Sfaradim, is Hasid with Peot. It's so beautiful. I think this is the way that the Geulah coming through these days. When I see it, I'm so happy to see some Ashkenazi guy learning Sfarim of Rav Ovadia Yosef, learning Sfarim of Chachamim Kubalim. And you should know, this is the meaning of the Geulah. Why? Because when we get to the Galut, we were separated. Also, when we get to the Galut, when we get out from the Holy Land to the Galut, also the secret gets separated. Just like the Israeli people, the Jewish people get separated. There was one time in the history, one wonderful time in the history, after there is a lot of problem, a lot of suffer in Spain before 500 years, and that's how it's work. It's always you have years of suffer, and after you have like geula, redemption, אומרים?
Yes.
Okay, you have a redemption. We have Girush Sfarad before 500 years. All of the Jewish came to Spain, and went from Spain after a few years, all the Jewish people get out from Spain, and there was a big Girush. That's why we have a tradition that says that Sevilla, which was one of the biggest Girushim, איך אומרים גירוש,
Exile?
the most tough and suffer that the Jewish had, it was when the king of Spain divorced us from Spain, and from Spain, few part of Am Israel go to Morocco and Tzfon Africa, and part go to Ashkenaz. There is part that came to the Holy Land. It was before 500 years. And then the Ramak came to Eretz Israel. Also Rabbi Yosef Karo came to Eretz Israel. Also Hari HaKadosh came to Eretz Israel. It was one time in history. It was opportunity, spiritual opportunity, to collect all the spiritual side of Am Israel and get it into one unit, into one place, and make something, and make history. And it's all happened in one place, in very small city. The city called Tzfat. And these times, Rabbi Yosef Karo came and took all the Rishonim, all the first, the old poskim, and make it to one, collect it to one book, which his name is Bet Yosef, and his name is the Shulchan Aruch, and he make halacha. He cut things. He tell you, in Shabbat you're not allowed to do this, and we will allow to do this, and he make the Shulchan Aruch. And the second thing that happened is the Ramak. The Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, came to Tzfat, and he collect all the wisdom that we have from all over the secret, and he make it to one book, which is two books. Matter of fact, first book, it's called Pardes Rimonim. Pardes Rimonim, it's a very important book. He collect over there all the shitot, all the ways of the Kabbalah. And the second chibur, the second book, it was Or Yakar. Or Yakar, it's a book. It's not one book. It's 13, 14 books on the Zohar, which is מפרש, לא translate, הוא מפרש, איך אומרים מפרש, is discover the secret of the Zohar, and he told us through the Zohar, he told us a lot of wisdom. And these two ways, two things, two parts of the Torah, from going to the Galut, from going to everywhere, it became to one unit, to one part. Also the body of the Torah, which is the Halacha, the Bet Yosef, Shulchan Aruch, and also the Ramak, which is Pardes Rimonim and Or Yakar. And for understanding just that we can understand the meaning of the work that the Ramak did, which is unbelievable, that one man did this job. You cannot understand it. But it was a big mission. The Ramak wrote his Perush on the Zohar Or Yakar, and inside this Perush, איך אומרים Perush?
Interpretation.
Inside, in his interpretation, through the interpretation of the Zohar, he wrote a book, books inside the book. He wrote a books inside it, like we know the most famous book of the Ramak that we know. What is the most famous book of the Ramak? Tomer Dvorah. Tomer Dvorah, you should know, it's 2 pages. It's only 2 pages from the interpretation from his book, Or Yakar. So inside the interpretation, Or Yakar, he did הקדמה, איך אומרים הקדמה?
Introduction.
He did introduction to his interpretation of the Zohar Hadash on Shir HaShirim. All this in איך אמרנו? In
Introduction.
All this introduction is this book. And I know that I understand it's so important that we have it in a book בפני עצמו, איך אומרים בפני עצמו?
By itself.
By himself, that we can understand. It's so important that we have it on one book. That's why I print it, and I work very hard that you will have it in a very special way to understand it and to learn it. And I also make a big ishtadlut to make it also a very, very special and in the professional way, that it will be beautiful and we can read it very, very
easily explained.
Yes, easily. And that's what I do it. So I think it's not a matter of Kabbalah only. It's also a matter of understanding the Judaism and understanding the Bible, and understanding a lot of things from our life also. So that's why I thought it will be very, very important to learn this book. But I must say another thing before we start. Besides of having a heritage and having a tradition over years and having a wise man, I want to tell one thing on the Ramak. When you come to the Torah of Ramak, it's amazing. Why it's amazing? Because it's like others. It's so clearly, he explains things with, sometimes it's a bit long, but he make it very clearly that you can connect the Kabbalah also from your nefesh, from your feeling. You can feel him. You can just feel the Ramak. It's unbelievable. And he had a seder. He had the others. We say others.
Yeah, chapters.
He have a seder. Everything is
organized in a very simple way.
Organized and clearly, and that's why I choose this book for opening the way to understanding, to start the new steps in Kabbalah that everybody can touch the secret size of the word. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to start learning it. Whoever doesn't have this book, he can wrote it. It's in Hebrew, and you can find it in Google or whatever. There is a lot of places that we have it. And now I'm going to start reading. There's each time we're going to do maybe Hakira, first Hakira, one Hakira or two. Be'ezrat Hashem. So I'm going to start read it. Be'ezrat Hashem. Maybe Yosef, you can send them the kishur to the word, to the Ramak, to the...
Yes, the link to the word. Okay, I'll try to get that.
Okay, בסדר. אתה יכול לרשום שם דרישת מלאכים והם ימצאו את זה. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna send it on the קבוצה. Okay, let's see. That everybody can open it till you get the book, the holy book. אוקיי, דרישות בענייני מלאכים, דרבנו איש האלוהים, כבוד מורנו הרב רבי משה קורדבי רוזיה, הקדמת המחבר. קודם שניכנס בביאור, השמועה הזאת, ראיתי לדרוש בסוד ובעניין האדם עם המלאכים. Before we're gonna interest to understanding the angels, the subjects of angel, I'm gonna learn you about the way that the angels connected to people, and not just the way that the angels connected to the people, also the angels connect to the big angel, and there is 7 ways to understanding it, and each way that we understand in it, I read and I translate already, instead of reading in Hebrew and then untranslated, okay? And every way that we are gonna research inside the subject of the angel, we can understand seven understanding as we're gonna interpretation it.
Interpretate.
איך?
You can say explain or interpretate.
Interpretate. Okay. So he said the 7 ways. We're gonna jump to the first Hakira. The first Hakira is we should understand and research if there is a way to say a number in angels, number in angels, and not just in the angels, also in their madrigot.
Levels.
In their levels. So the rabbi says we should understand if we can give a number through the levels or not. And first understanding is that we cannot give numbers in angels and also in the level of the angels. Why? Because it's written in the pasuk, Ayesh mispar legdudav. The Torah, the Navi ask, there is a number for the level of the angels? There is numbers of the angels, and when the prophet man he asked it, he doesn't ask it because he wants to know an answer. He just asks it because he wants to say there is no numbers for the angels, and also there is no number for the level of the angels. But he says it's wrote in the pasuk the opposite, because we have the pasuk, המוציא במספר צבעם, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he get out, we should understand one thing. We work here. We doesn't understand that we are so small. There's a lot of world upon us that work, and they have places, and they have ways, and they have times. And you know, I just want to show you one thing that we do. Each day there is איך אומרים גלגל?
flag?
flag זה גלגל?
דלגל? לא יודע מה זה דלגל.
גלגל.
Oh, wheel.
Each day, each 4 hours, there is other wheels that get in the circles, and he removed things and meaning in this world. We were starting to do it. I want to show you. Only for one day. Look how much we have. This is the explanation. I collected from few things of the few books and kitvei yad of the Kabbalah. I'm gonna show you. It's not written on published books. It's a book that we get in tradition. Yes, every book we have it in tradition, and from few books I collected understanding and meaning of these wheels that come through, and they are leading us. You see that every 10 years, there is other subject that all of the world miss with it. You can see the corona. Before the corona, we have the subject of the terror. איך אומרים terror? Terrorism. The terror. And before of this, there is the money. We miss it with the money. And all the things that people are thinking and miss with it, it's called schalim. Schalim, the meaning in English, sechel, is, איך אנחנו נסביר שכל באנגלית?
באיזה לשון?
Like wisdom, like there is few schalim that moving from the wheels, and each 10 years, or few years, or 4 years, there's few ways to understand it. There is one of the wheels that making the world working and a way to sing. You can see here, I did one, I explained just one of them in just in a 10 years, which the meaning there is the first sechel, the second, and the third, and every 4 thing there is few years. It's very complicated, but I don't want to mess with it. I just wanted to show you that there is other things that manage us in this world. And that's why we should understand the secret of the world. When we're going to connect it to the secret of the world, we can do 2 things. First thing, we can become bigger, smarter, stronger. And the second thing, we can letaken olam b'malchut Shaddai. We can make the human being, we can make the existence, we can make everything be better because we connected to the secret. We know that what we have here, it's הצגה. איך אומרים הצגה?
Movie.
It's like a movie. It's like a play that we are playing. There is other thing that manage the play. And when you are in the plane, when you are in a movie and you know that you must get the part that you are suffer, you not really suffer because you know you have your bills, you have your bank, you have everything, but you suffer because now, right now, you are playing someone that suffer. If you connected to this understanding, that's why you can use this word only in the way that you must understand this word, because you connected to the secret, you connected to other world. It can help you manage yourself in the right way, in the healthy way. So that's why I want to tell you that that's why it's so important that we all will be connected, each one in his level, to the Kabbalah, to the secret. So he says, from one side, the prophet says, Ayesh mispar ligdudav, there is no number for the angel. And the second pasuk says, המוציא במספר צבאם לכולם בשם יקרא. So when Kudsha Berichu, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu get out his angel in the world, he get them out from one place to each other. There is a number. He doesn't get everyone. So from the other pasuk, you see there is a number for the angel. So he says here, so there is question. And now he's answering us. The Ramak says, Omnam לגבי הקדוש ברוך הוא, המוציא במספר צבאם לכולם בשם יקרא. יש לו מספר לצבאות, ושם לכל אחד ואחד מהאישים שבכל צבא וצבא. כן, אז הוא אומר פה לא קשיא, לגבי תתא לית לו מספר, אמנם לגבי הקדוש ברוך הוא, יש לו מספר. There is very deeply understanding, and it's for all our life. I don't think it's just I think the mainly subjects over here is the understanding, the subject of the angels, but there is another issue over here, which is understanding us. And there is a big answer over here. And I think this is the mainly answer for all of the Kabbalah. And it's make you think and seeing the world in other way that if you don't learn Kabbalah, you cannot understand it. And his answer, first thing I'm going to say is his answer, and then I'm going to explain it, how it's connected to us. He says, yes, you have a question. There is number for the angels, and there is no angel for the angels, because in the Bible we have two psukim. One time it's wrote that there is a number for the angel. The second is wrote that there is no number for the angel. So the Ramak says, I have an answer. My answer is so simple. From us, if we look to the angels, we don't have a number because you cannot connect them. Not just because you don't have the big number to collect all of the numbers, because you cannot number them. But from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, La Hashem, he has their numbers. Because he can number them, because his numbers, it's not our numbers. What the meaning of this question, of this answer? What the deep meaning of this question, of this answer? And there is two meanings, the meaning of the question and the meaning of the answer. The meaning of the question that we always look it in our eyes. And we always want to know. We always want the explanation. We always want the understanding, and the meaning of the answer that
from our perspective.
Yes, the meaning of the answer is that sometimes you should understand that there is another way to look. There is a way that you look from your side, and there is a way to look like, כביכול, like Hashem is looking at you. And it's unbelievable answering. When you think about, Rabbi Yitzhak de Minako, which wrote the Sefer Otzar HaChaim, he wrote each language has meaning, very spiritual meaning. It doesn't matter which language it. The thoughts, the roots of all of the language, they are from the Jewish language. We know it. But every language has a mission in the world and has a meaning in the way that people speak, because the soul is speaking. And if you look at people in this world, people agree to walk only in a place that they are understanding. But if you look on the word understanding, it's like the word that you understanding. Instead of standing, you are understanding. You cannot be strong. It's like you sit under something. That's why we learn in Kabbalah, we get the opportunity to become to a place that you can sometimes leave the understanding and be stand in a place that angels stand on. And I think the meaning of this answer, it's very deep for all our life, because you want to judge this place, you want to judge HaKadosh Baruch Hu from your eyes, from your understanding, and you cannot do it. Because why? Because you don't have the kelim, the vision to understand the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu lead this world. So surely to judge him or judge the reality, it's not in your hand. Just it could be in your hand if you will connected to the secret of the world. Okay, and then the Ramak says, he says, you should know, Kadosh Baruch Hu, not just knowing the numbers, not just having the numbers. There is the lotto. איך אומרים לוטו באנגלית?
Lottery.
Lotto. There is lotto. Everybody want to know the numbers. So we know that we want the truthfully lotto, which is the angels. So the rabbi says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he knows the numbers of the angels. He knows there is like armies of the angels. There is names of each army of angels. It's wrote in the pasuk, המוציא במספר צבאם לכולם בשם יקרא. יש לו מספר לצבאות ושם לכל אחד, and every each angels, מהאישים שבכל צבא וצבא, ושבכל צבא וצבא, וזה שאמר לכולם בשם יקרא. That's why we see in the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he says, I can call every each malach, every each angels on his names. And אפשר לפרשו בדרך אחר, he says, I have another answer for you. מוציא במספר צבאם, ולא שאומר 1,000 צבאות או ריבו וכיוצא, אלא לכולם בשם יקרא. צבא ראשון פלוני, צבא שני פלוני וכיוצא. אוקיי. ולא זו בלבד, אלא מרוב עונים ועם יזכוח איש, אפילו איש פרטי שבהם לא נהדר לפניו, אלא כולם יכנה להם שם ידוע ועניין, ומאוד דלכאורה הפסוק זה נאמר על מחנות הכוכבים, אין לך כוכב וכוכב שלא יהיה עליו מלאך, וכן פירש הרשב"י, ואף אם נודה שפסוק זה נאמר בכוכבים, ממנו נלמד כאן וכל אומר למלאכים, המשובחים מהכוכבים שהדין כן. He says, maybe the angels have a numbers, but we don't have the numbers of the angels. This is other way to answer. This is other way to answer the question. Maybe we don't have the numbers. There is no number for the angels, but we have a numbers from the army of the angels. There is few armies of the angels. This is the second terutz, and the third terutz, it's that Kadosh Baruch Hu says there is no numbers. You should know, but we have a number for the stars, and each stars there is few angels that they are sending from stars, because it says the angels, they are higher from the stars, but we have a numbers of the stars. That's why we can understanding the meaning of the highest angels. These highest angels, these lowest angels, up from the stars and under the stars, they walking from the stars. We're gonna learn on it. ואתה, אומר הרב, ואתה בזה בלי ספק לא יעלה הלב משכיל לתת מספר לגדודי המלאכים, כי אין בהם מספר. לפני מי שברעם, only הקדוש ברוך הוא know the numbers of the angels. He doesn't know the numbers of the angels. אמנם כתוב שני אומר רכב אלוהים ריבותיים אלפי שינן, בו שני פירושים לרז"ל וכולי. He says the Gemara wrote there is 22,000 angels, big angels, and there is a few angels, few kinds of angels. Yes, and there is angels that call Shin'an. Shin'an, it's wrote in the Pasuk, there is angels that call Shin'an. It says also the angels that call Shin'an, it's a Rashi Tevot of the four, how we going to say, the four parts of the Merkava, which is Shor, Nesher, Aryeh, ve'Adam.
4 parts of the wagon, or the holy chariot.
כל אחד מהם היה שינען וכולי כאותה מרכבה שראה יחזקאל. He asking about other things. We have a few angels. He ask about each angels, if there is a kind of angels that we have a number, these kinds of angels, there's no, we don't have angels, but he says, you know, I want to tell you one secret. After you say numbers, yes, there is numbers, there is no numbers. Hashem have the number, we don't have the number, we can see it, we can understand it. So he says, in the end, he says, אמנם, היתר העניין הוא כי מנורה אחת של פרקים כולם יחד נקשרים, אופן אחד וחיה אחת פרטי יותר. הם ד' בחינות, ד' פרקים גדולים בחיה, הם ד' חיות וכן באופן, הם ד' אופנים וכו'. He says, it's just like, if you want to understand it, you can understand it from the menorah. We have the menorah in Bet HaMikdash. He says the menorah in Bet HaMikdash has a parts, but in the end, all of the menorah, including 7 parts, 7 קנים, איך אומרים קנים? 7 hands of the menorah. Also the malachim, the angels have 4 parts, 4 ways to get inside this world. So up we have a lot of angels, but over here, to understanding the meaning of the angels, you don't need to know the specific angel that you speak on, because we look on each angel is a part of something very big, very, very ununderstanding of this מערכת, of this army of the angels. That's why he says, you should know, in my book, I'm going to give you only the rules of the angels. I cannot give you every specific angel to the way to understand where he came to this world, when he's up, when he's down, because it's going to be few books. I'm just going to speak about the rules, the generally rules that you have in the angels, and from this you can understand the deep understanding of each angels. And he says, I'm going to speak you only the thing that your ears can hear it, and you can get the explanation in your brain, in your mind, and you can be connected. So the meaning of the first paragraph is that to understanding things, you must be connected. You must be connected to the meaning, but you don't need to understanding each things, each name, each number, but in general, you must know the rules. That's why the Ramak give us the rules to understanding the place of the angels. And one thing that we should know, that we are here to make this world pure and to get help from the power that HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring to this world, and to make us being more connected to the spiritual side of the world. And like we know that we have a big mitzvah right now. The big mitzvah, we are in the end of Shnat HaShmitah, end of the 7 years that ending, and every each 7 years, Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you should make the earth, leave the earth to make
rest. Let it rest.
Yes. And there is a big mitzvah that Hachamim told us. There is also another mitzvah that every chov, every own that you own to someone,
every debt,
that's the chov. Every debt that you have, that someone that you, or you that someone you have in this year, in the end of the year, each debt that you have, it's gonna die, it's gonna death, okay? But we have a mitzvah, the mitzvah called prosbul, which Hachamim tiknu that no one will lose his money. And that's why we're doing a shtar, and we give it to Bet Din, this shtar, that we're not going to lose our money. Each one of us have a check that he gave to the 3 months later. So in the end of the Shvi'it, if you don't do it and you take the money from this check, so you're going to make a problem from Chazal. You don't go, it's Avera. That's why we're doing the prosbul. And the meaning is that the Torah is thinking about everything. When the Torah says something, when the Torah says you must rest in the 7 years, she speaks not just for you, not just for your body, also for the earth, also for your money to get rest. and the meaning that the Torah is included everything. In the mitzvot, we have the way to think and to understand everything, how it works spiritually. And you know, the most you get higher in business, in money, in this world, you're understanding that things work in other ways. There is something that manages us. And when you connect it to something that manages us, you can understand how to be managed in the highest and the successful way to get connected to your mission, to your, you have a job over here, you have a mission. And when you connect it to your mission, you become a rich, not just in money, rich in your feeling with yourself. That's why we tasting from the secret and the way to understand the spiritual side of the world. And Baruch Hashem, we finish one paragraph, and I hope you all enjoy. And this is the time for a question. If there is any question, you can ask.
Rabbi said that there is no numbers of the angels. So how does the Chazal give a number?
So Ramak is in the Gemara. Ramak answered this question. He says there is a pasuk. There is Gemara. The Gemara says, the Gemara says. He says also the Zohar says. The Zohar beParashat Vayetze said Shin'an. He says it's called in the pasuk Shan'anim Ribotayim Alfei Shan'an. מה זה ריבותיים? דהיינו 20,000 אלפים. אז הוא אומר that the numbers that they gave, it's only the number of the enemy of the armies. Every army, also the number, it's only general numbers. Because like I says, you ask me how much there is, how much people there is in United States. I answer you millions. So I answer numbers, but it's not correct on numbers. I answer a general number. So all what the Trotin in the Gemara of numbers in the angels is only general. In general, it's not truthfully the number of the angels, because the number of the angels, it's just like the number of Am Yisrael. אשר לא יספר ולא ימוד מרוב. אוקיי. שכוח, זכו למצוות. השם יברך אתכם בעזרת השם, ויבואו כל המלאכים, יסייעו לכם בעזרת השם. סייעתא דשמיא.
Oh my. Are we going to have this lecture again?
בעזרת השם. אנחנו נמשיך לנקסט פרגרף בעזרת השם.
How often?
איך? בעזרת השם, אנחנו... רבי יוסף, אתה יכול לעצור את ההקלטה בסייעתא דשמיא.